Okay, up next, we'd like to invite HAPCO member Cheryl Sittman for just a couple minutes on stage here. She's the administrator of the Philadelphia Landlords Connect on Facebook, with an observation that she just wanted to make for a couple minutes.
Thanks so much for giving me an opportunity to talk. I was waiting for the city council members to come because my comments are primarily directed to them. As the admin for the Philadelphia Landlords Connect group on Facebook, which I hope that many of you have found and managed to join, I've been privy to see many of the frustrations of people, of landlords, and I wanted to take an opportunity to speak not only for myself, but for all of the landlords here and in the group. So this is mainly addressed to the politicians among us. When I started buying properties 9 years ago, I sincerely believed I'd be supported for the work I was doing because I was creating homes out of uninhabitable blight. Instead, I was met with a series of policies that quite frankly felt like gotcha. The policies aren't about helping us to succeed to create good housing options and improving the city's neighborhoods, but about trapping us to get caught in not being compliant. Do you know how many people in Philadelphia make a living just out of helping property owners to be compliant? It's ridiculous, and it all adds to the cost of rent. The problem is that many of the laws are created to punish the bad actors, but they've become a drag on everyone. Instead of being partners in improving neighborhoods, landlords are treated like criminals. And this is not a room of criminals. This is a room full of earnest small business people providing the city with a vital service. Oops. Rent is a direct result of costs. Taxes, insurance, repairs, and layer after layer after layer of regulations. That makes every improvement harder and more expensive to deliver. We want good, long-term, happy tenants, but we have to cover our costs. We can agree on that, right? Meanwhile, in cities with fewer regulations and costs, like Houston is an example, renters spend about 25% of their income on rent. In Philadelphia, it's 32%, and it's climbing. And Philly housing is not nicer or safer than Houston's. If heavy regulation were the answer, wouldn't housing in Philly, a city known for some of the highest amount of housing regulations, be admired for affordability, quality, and safety? But here's the reality. When you create complex, costly processes, you don't create better housing. You create barriers for our small operators and opportunity for large corporations. You drive out the ones who lovingly fix up the vacant properties, who care about their tenants, who invest in Philly because it's Philly. And what's the result? Either vacant, decaying property, of which Philly has loads, or corporate owners who have the resources to navigate the system, to absorb expenses via economies of scale, and who charge accordingly. Philadelphia needs policies that support the people trying to do the right thing, not policies that punish them when they forget to get a document signed by a tenant that does not even have a place for a signature, or forces them to take care of bed bugs for a tenant who brings a used mattress into the property 6 months after they moved into a new home, a clean home. Each regulation that is passed without understanding how it affects landlords or the entire housing ecosystem ultimately harms renters and the city. Many of the regulations and ordinances contribute to creating a bad housing culture, one of animosity towards owners and a lack of accountability that frequently leads to destruction of property and abuse of the laws. That contributes to higher rents, and owners need to account for higher repair costs in a city where tenants do not worry about the implications of damaging property. I want to tell you a little story about hearing aids, even though it sounds like it's not related. For years, people who needed hearing aids had to go through licensed gatekeepers. They needed a prescription. Prices were crazy expensive, and millions went without. When regulation finally loosened, it did not lead to chaos. It was a breakthrough. Access increased, prices dropped, and lives improved. We can all learn something from that story. Our current system keeps up the appearance of protection, but it's an outright lie. You need to stop building policy around the worst-case scenario and start building policy for the people who are trying to do the right thing. Please include us in your decision-making process, and please take our input to heart. I think we want the same things for the city. Keep in mind, it's easier to stop things from being built than to build them. Thanks very much for your time.